Hello, my dear subscribers. Today the idea of my video is to give you a practical instruction how to use Neurographica for healing practically any trauma. And I would like just to tell you a little bit story how I use Neurographica and how I find my traumas and how I make self-therapy using Neurographica. For example, our topic today is accepting of help from males. But the topic, in fact, is much wider. You can use it for any topic, for receiving of help, not from only from males, but from anybody. So what about me? I know that I have this problem that I have been always struggling to accept help from males and other people, and I'm working on it. But today I was in a supermarket with my husband. We were buying some groceries, and at the moment I'm not working. I'm studying for a counselor. And when we paid for the grocery at the till, I felt so uncomfortable and even some kind of fear, because for me it was uncomfortable that my husband is paying for me. I understand that it's normal when husband pays for expenses. That's absolutely fine. But in my childhood, I had very traumatic experience, and I have it now as well. That my father, he's not like very generous man, and I can accept that. I understand that my father is from Soviet Union, and at that time people were struggling to make their ends meet. And every time when my father spent money, he got stress. But when I was as a child, I was seeing that my father doesn't like spending money for me. And it looked like, for example, when father bought me something, he always told, I bought you this, but you need to be good, you need to do something special, you need to behave. And I was feeling that I was feeling guilty because my father was spending uh, uh, money for me, and I felt that in the future I need to repay him. I need to give this debt to him, and as a result, for me, it was feeling unsafe to receive any help from people or from males, because I felt subconsciously that in the future I will need to give it back. So I was feeling unsafe. And how I understood it today, just at the moment when my husband paid for us, I felt really uncomfortable, and I felt it would be better if I had my own money and if I paid for myself and for our food. It would be feeling safer for me. But that's a good trigger to understand what is your inner trauma. And today I'm going to heal this trauma together and show you how you can heal practically any trauma with the help of algorithm, which I will show you today. So let's start. Okay, my dear, so let's start. So I decided that my topic will be wider. It will be accepting help from others. Not only males, but also females, also from other people, universe, fortune, and everything. So let's admit that if we are able to accept help from others, the life will be just much easier. And if we are able to ask for help, oh my God, it's so much easier to live this life. So let's start doing it. So what you need to do, you need to set up a timer for 2 minutes. and just write a list of randomly coming up words to your mind, and that's it. So any words. And oh, okay, timer for 2 minutes. Let's go. So what I can tell you, it was really funny because the words that came up out of my subconsciousness were really slightly connected with the topic. It's just looked like it's such a big chaos in my mind about it. And I didn't know that this problem is so difficult. I was thinking that I have already solved this problem because I remember when I was flying. So this year I spent my 40th anniversary in Paris alone. It was my dream, without children and husband. And when I was in plane, I asked a man who was sitting next to me to open a bottle of water for me. And for me, it was really, really unusual behavior. I never ask men for help. I feel shame, I feel embarrassed, everything, but not to ask anybody for help. So that it means that I still need to work on this problem. Okay, so after you finish your list of words, you need to think about your problem. Think which emotion and pain it causes you, and how much more difficult the life is for those people who can't ask for help ecologically. So let's start. And now you need to do a very energetic scribbling, like that. So this scribbling represents my inner conflict. So from one side, I would like to be a real woman. I would like to accept help. I would like to be relaxed and grateful woman who is living in gratitude, who is accepting, but still I'm struggling with it. So I'm working on it together with you today. So what you need to do, you need to prolong all the lines up to the edges of your paper. So you need to hide all the broken lines, all the loops, all the so in fact you need to hide your conflict, not to hide but to dissolve. To dissolve. So, and feel what happens in your body when you are doing that. As for me, I feel that my inner tension, my inner fear to accept help, this conflict in my mind, it starts to relax. I don't know how to explain this feeling, but I feel that tension in my head starts to be gone. I'm starting to relax, but it's just the beginning. And so we need to find any lines which can be prolonged. Like, as you see, my lines are almost straight. Straight lines in Neurographica means that I still have lots of tension on this question. I still, in my case, I'm afraid to accept help, because for me it means that I'm not independent, and to be dependent means unsafety, something like that. So I need to work on it. Maybe one more line. So what you need to do, you need to cover your paper with such amount of lines that the surface of the paper is covered evenly. So in every part of your paper, there is almost the same amount of lines, and I feel here I need something else. Yeah, something like that. And now you need to start rounding up all the intersections. So the easier way is to take a thick Sharpie, but today I decided to take a little bit thinner. Thick Sharpies are easier to work with, but thin Sharpies are more effective. But if you just started, I don't recommend you to take very thin Sharpie because it will annoy you. It will take too long, it will take too much time, and as a result you may become irritated, I don't know. But anyway, any emotions which you feel during the process, they are good because it means that you are releasing them. It means that you are getting rid of them. Just let them go. Just feel how it feels in your body, how it feels in your emotions. So you may want to start crying. That's absolutely fine because it's just your time. It's the same as if you go to psychotherapist or counselor, but you are just in some kind of meditation, working with your thoughts, with your traumas. And as usual, I will tell you my story, how I started to live such a life when I cannot accept help from other people. You know, I would like to tell you another story. You know the story of my father already, but I would like to tell you another story. You know, when I came to the United Kingdom after the war started, I met so many nice people here, and most of people, like 99% of people, were so helpful. And they helped us so much. For example, they gave us furniture, they gave us I don't know, curtains, towels, sofas, beds, food, toys, books, because we left everything in Ukraine. We just had 2 or 3 suitcases, and we had to start our life from the beginning. And local people helped us so much that I couldn't believe that it's possible. I just couldn't believe it. It was so unusual for me. And I felt uncomfortable, you know, because I couldn't accept that. I didn't understand what should I do in return, or maybe I need to pay or something like that. So very, it was difficult to accept. And the biggest stress was when my daughter went to a private school, because our local private school invited children from Ukraine, and they have some special like fund which covered the expenses for studying. So we don't pay, of course, we don't pay for the private school. And I didn't have an idea to go to the private school, but so there are some stories behind it. I will tell you somehow, maybe how we appeared in the private school. But so it's just how it happened. So we went to the private school, and in this school there are, you understand that it's not cheap, and there are very rich people there. I will take just yeah, there are lots of rich people there. Some people just have business or something like that, and some people For example, there are children of military people, and Ministry of Defense pay for the children. Like different people are in that school. But one woman who was the mother of my daughter classmate, she found out about us, that we came from Ukraine, and she's a very rich woman and very kind, with a huge loving heart, and she gave us a car because we are living in a rural area. There is no public, there is some public transport, but we can use it. We can't use it because, for example, to get to school we need to take a bus, and the bus goes only once, one time per 3 hours, so it's so difficult to get it. And that woman just gave us a car. Yes, it's old car, very, very old car, but for me it was just unbelievable. I just couldn't understand how it's possible. And you know, I couldn't accept it. I had such a big stress that I had stomachache for 1 week. I was lying on the bed and I couldn't get up because the pain was so big that I don't remember if I was working that time or not, but I remember that the pain of the because of the stress was so big that I just was lying on the bed. I know that it's called the syndrome of irritated bowel, something like that, and so it's a kind of a reaction to the stress. So I had such a this problem was really big, and I couldn't accept anything from anybody, because every time I was thinking, okay, if they gave me that, it means that I will need to repay. And what does it mean? What do I need to give them? So that's how my brain worked every time when somebody tried to help me. And I'm working on it. Of course, I have some progress. It's not so bad now, and I started to give other people what I have to share. For example, to share my knowledge, or to share something that you don't need anymore. And I understand that some people are so generous that can share something valuable that they have if they want to. But still I have something to work on. And I definitely know that there are some kind of women who can easily accept very expensive gifts, or they can even ask. For example, my dear husband, could you please buy me like a new phone or a new car or something like that? I have never been able to live like that. And every time when I had birthday, my husband asked me, what do you want for birthday? And every time I said, no, nothing, I don't need anything, just nothing. And when my birthday came, I was crying because I really got nothing. And I didn't mean that. I just wanted him to make a surprise. But that's the problem, that I couldn't normally say what I wanted. Of course, I can blame my father and say, oh, my father, but my father, I don't live with my father from 16 years, and now I'm 40, so 40 minus 16, 20, 24 years I've been living in this, I can call it limiting belief. So my limiting belief is that people cannot be so kind that they can give you something just to make you happy, or just for who you are, or something like that. And today I started to talk about it with my husband, and I asked him, why do you pay for me? And he said, just because I love you and I want you to be happy. And I told him, why didn't you tell me that before? I was struggling for 24 years because I was feeling guilty. And he said, I was thinking it's obvious. I just love you and I'm happy that you're happy. And I asked him to repeat that many times, really many times. And I was feeling that his words are healing me. And even before I started this video, I felt that I feel much better. I can accept myself much more than before. The idea is that we need to start loving ourselves unconditionally. And that's the most important. If we love ourselves, and other people will, so we will find some people who will love us unconditionally. We will get that experience because we attract what we believe. You see, that's already second marker that I need to change. It's not a coincidence. It signifies big resistance. And if I'm asking myself, for example, why am I afraid to accept help from others? And the answer is I'm afraid to be vulnerable. I don't want to show people that that I'm vulnerable. Yes, maybe vulnerability is the reason why I don't want to accept help. It feels safer to be independent. It feels safer to have my own money. But the problem is that you can only experience real love when you're vulnerable. That's the problem. So if we are independent, we can be lonely. And loneliness is the biggest problem now. Our population is growing. So many people are around, but so many people are lonely. I heard many times people told me that they feel lonely, and before I couldn't understand that. What does it mean, lonely? So many people are around you. But it's not that we don't have people around us. It means that we cannot open our heart to anybody. We don't have someone around who we can share something that is interesting for us. That's the feeling of loneliness. It's not that you're physically in an empty space or empty place. You can be a citizen of New York and you can live in the center of New York, but still be lonely because you just don't have anybody to speak to. And it's really bad feeling, if not to tell more. I had that feeling once in my life, but it was for a long time when I was so I was working in a private school where my children study. I was working as a teaching assistant. The school looks like the castle of Harry Potter. It looks really expensive and everything, but I was feeling really lonely there because just there was an atmosphere where nobody cared about anybody. It was a big turnover in this company. Some people stayed for some time, some people left, but I didn't have deep connections. I didn't have any friends, and I had nobody to speak to, except some people who worked far from me, and I didn't have possibility to talk to them. And I just quit because my mental state became worse and worse, and I just decided to change something in my life. So this ability to accept help is, yes, it leads to vulnerability, but if you can endure it and you can tolerate it, you can give real love as a gift. Because real unconditional love, it's such a valuable, precious gift in our life that we need to sacrifice something to get it. And in my case, I need to sacrifice my defense. It's a big risk, because if you sacrifice your defense and your safety to a wrong person, your heart will be broken, of course. But if real love would be something mundane or something common, people wouldn't say that it doesn't exist. It exists, but it's very rare. It's a very rare gift. And to get that gift, you just need to be ready. And you need to be brave enough to get through vulnerability. And also, you need to understand your self-worth. And if you're lucky enough to meet someone in your life who love you just for who you are, you will be able to get that self-worth. If you're not lucky enough, you may just meet yourself and understand who you are and discover your self-worth. And just wait for someone who will understand that. Or just be happy with your own company. It's also possible. Okay, so I finished rounding up, and now it's time to harmonize my picture. In order to harmonize it, I will draw a circle in some place where I feel that it's appropriate. And I feel that my picture needs two circles. One circle is here, and one circle is here. And that's it, and maybe one circle is here, and one circle is here. Yeah, I feel that I need lots of harmonizing. And as soon as I did it, I really felt some, I will try to describe you this feeling, something like inner stability. Yes, it's like inner stability. I feel that vulnerability is not scary, it's some kind of intimacy. Yes, some kind of intimacy. Like, can you imagine when you speak to your soulmate at night about the most intimate things in your life? And it's not about naked body, it's just about naked soul. so we need to make these circles really outstanding. Also, I forgot to take my water, and every time when I draw Neurographica, I feel so thirsty, and it means that we need some fresh water in order to, I would say, a clean old program, but it's a little bit metaphorical. Just something happens now in our body, and this process needs water. I hope my brain is renovating. Okay, so just 4 circles today. I have never had so many circles in Neurographica. I hope that after today's class I will be able to accept help from others. And I also need some triangle. So what is triangle? Triangle represents conflict, but conflict means that you need to break down something stagnant. So it just boosts up the process of creating new healthy neuron program in my brain. Yeah, something like that. And as usual, we need to round up all the corners and intersections. You know, I have a little daughter, and my daughter doesn't have such problems like I have. And I'm very happy for her, because my daughter has healthy relationships with her father, my husband, and she's absolutely fine in asking for help. She asks for help 100 times a day, and she is my teacher. I learn from her. Really, she teaches me how should a true woman behave. I'm very happy that I have such a child, and I saw when she comes to school, one boy rushes to open the door, another boy holds her back, another boy something else. So she's like a, I don't know, not superstar, but just a real girl, But at the same time, she plays football. She's a goalkeeper. It's so strange for me, because when I was at school, we have never played football. I mean, girls have, and they play football, they play rugby, they play, strange for me, it's strange. I would prefer her to go to ballet or gymnastics, but they don't have such a choice. Yeah, and our world is a little bit, I think it's masculine. It's very difficult to stay a woman, real woman in this world, because you need to survive, you need to earn money, you need to work, you need to live alone without a man. For example, my mother lived without a man. Her mother, my grandmother, lived without a man. My grandmother worked hard to make the ends meet, and my grandmother was telling my mother, you can depend only on yourself. Men are unsafe. You cannot trust men. You need to get education. You need to get good job. And the same mantra my mother told to me, and I understood it, that men are unsafe to trust. It's a deep, deep, deep program in my mind. So my father was unsafe to trust. I don't remember my grandfather, and I didn't have my grandmother from my mother's side, because my mother didn't have, she had father, but he left the family when she was young. And also this wars and everything, when man can disappear at any moment from your life. It's scary. It's just scary to rely on men. It's just scary, because you think, oh my God, if something happens to my husband, so how can I survive? So I need to be strong. I need to get education. I need to do and that and that. Yes, that's true. But the problem is, even if everything is fine, you cannot relax and just accept help, and just even tiny help. I'm not speaking about asking for help. That's a problem. And our body cannot function as man bodies. And if we behave like men, our hormone system starts to suffer, and we start to have problems with female health. Yes, recently I failed my driving test a third time, and I had such a big stress that my female health just collapsed. And I understood that it's just because that I behave as a man. I think that the world is a big battle and I need to win, something like that. And I had to work a little bit with myself to relax, to tell myself it's not the end of the world, you will have another chance to take the test, and you blah blah blah. And it was successful, because now I don't have problems with my health. But I had some time, I had to spend some time to change my beliefs, yeah. Because I strongly believe that our health, our physical health is based on our mental health. I'm totally sure that it works like that. So I hope I round up everything. Let's check. So if I see anything, I just will come back later. So, and we need to color the separate shapes. Okay, yellow. Okay, yellow. And just show the shapes. And if you want every time when you pick up the color, you can ask yourself, why did I choose yellow color this time? I don't know, I just maybe just I need some sun. Red, why did red for me is energy. I don't know, maybe because if you start accepting others' help, you will just accept energy that you need. You need to admit that I'm not a superhero, I'm just a weak woman, and sometimes I want to be weak. And it's the most difficult for me to be weak, to let myself have a rest, for example, or do nothing when I feel that I need it. Oh, it's the most difficult. Blue for me is of course tranquility. Just tranquility, just calm down. This one should be pink. Pink, yeah, it's obvious that it's feminine energy for me. Which I considered to be as a weakness. I considered all my life that if you are too feminine, it means that you're stupid or something like that. Like triangle needs to be green. Yes, green for me is growth. I feel that I still have lots and lots to learn about accepting my feminine part of myself. But the Neurographica gives me new neuron connections, like it creates the basics, and then during weeks and months this process will be uncovering, and I will start thinking in a new way. Also, I would like to add some purple. Just purple. I know that purple means spirituality, but in my case, I need to understand that it's not like that spirituality is like something separate from everyday life or something like that. I need to understand that it's all combined, it's all together. Just maybe I'm thinking that maybe accepting help is not just about accepting help. It's wider. It's like accepting, just accepting life, accepting some events which we cannot influence on, or accepting something that I don't agree with, and accepting that some things in my life I cannot control, and to signify that I understand this, I will leave some blank spaces on my paper. These blank spaces mean that I don't cover everything with my control. I just leave it as it is. Okay, let it be blank. I don't color it. Now I will draw a power line. Power line is external help. And our topic is all about external help today. Yes, I need another one. I don't know why I decided to do it from the bottom to top. Maybe because for me it represents some young plant which is growing. Some young plant, yeah, because I still have a lot to work on, but the process has been started. And I feel that if I learn to accept, and if I learn to accept help, just accept, my life will be just easier. When you can ask and get, it's easier than you need to earn it or fight for it. I hate to fight. I'm not the person who will ever be fighting. I feel exhausted after it. Any competitions I hate. I just give up in case. because all this atmosphere of competition, it's not about feminine energy at all, it's about masculine energy. It can be like a game if it's filled with love. That's absolutely another story. But if you need to prove something that you're strong or hate it. So you need to round up all the newly created intersections. And you know, I always believed that men don't like women who ask for help, who are weak and everything. But with the age, I started to understand that no, it's vice versa. Men feel better when women show them her weakness. And for me, it was like, what? Why should I show my weakness if I'm not weak? But I think it's kind of humility. I don't know, it's so difficult for me. I hope when I turn 70 or 80, I will finally understand what it means to be a woman. I just need to ask my daughter. She knows. She was born with this knowledge. Okay, I think I finished, but I would like to add some shadows. For example, you can create such a shadow. It's absolutely fine. The more attractive will be the picture for yourself, the better. It will. When you have this feeling that you like the picture, it will work more effectively. This stage is called stylization, and it just adds effectiveness. Yeah. So this one I would like to also make some shadow. Just like a 3D shape, some kind of. Yeah, and maybe some orange in here. I just would like to tell you that never ever use golden or silver markers. I don't really understand that idea, but I read like we have like a channel about Neurographica, so they keep telling that silver and golden markers will make the topic even worse, because it splits the consciousness somehow. So just don't use it. Just don't use it. It's like a safety. So we don't know exactly how it works, but it works not in a good way. Sometimes I use them to decorate my picture at the final stage, but don't use them to make the lines. So we will see if I'm better at accepting help, because I'm sure that something will start to happen in my life to let me understand if I am better at this or not. So if you have any thoughts about this topic, I would appreciate if you share them in comments or in our group. It will be very interesting, because I'm always interested in how this works with other people, not only with me. Okay, so we finished. So see you later. Bye.